In this video, I'm going to show you how you can adjust the display settings on your Galaxy S10, control the navigation bar down here at the bottom, as well as adjust the sound settings on your Galaxy S10. Let's get started. Hey everybody, welcome to Tech with Brett, where I help tech work for you. In this video, I'll be using the S10e, but this will also work the same on the S10 or the S10 Plus. So let's start off by going into the display settings, by going into the settings here on the phone, and then go into display. So right here at the top, you do have brightness where you can manually control how much brightness there is. And then here you have the adaptive brightness. So it's actually going to learn patterns on ways in which you use your phone and change the brightness based on kind of what you use it as. Now, instead of going into the settings to adjust this, you can actually do it when you pull down the notification tray, but it is hidden. So you just need to pull this down all the way, and now you can see the brightness settings right here where you can adjust that. But I like to actually hit the drop down right here in the bottom right hand corner, and then here you can change the level, the adaptive brightness, and I also like to check this show control on top. So once I do that and hit done, you'll notice that when I pull down the notification tray, right there I have the brightness control. So it's much easier to get to, so you can quickly turn up or down your brightness. Now next, let's talk about the blue light filter. So when you enable the blue light filter, it actually reduces the amount of blue light coming out of the screen of the phone. Now the reason for this is the blue light makes it so that you are not able to sleep. So if you're on your phone at night or right before bed, you're going to have more trouble going to bed. So if you turn this on, it can actually turn on automatically. It's going to reduce that amount of blue light that you see, and so you're going to be able to sleep better. So if we tap on these settings right here, we can change how much blue light actually comes through. So there we have a lot of blue light, and then here you can see that there's not as much blue light. So you can just have it turn on and off, or you can set that to turn on and off as scheduled. So here you could have sunset to sunrise, or you can create a custom schedule. So at 7 p.m. at night, it turns on, and then it automatically turns off at 7 a.m. the next day. So that is blue light filter. Next, we have night mode. So night mode allows you to completely change how the phone looks in the settings and certain applications. So you can see that it automatically changed the background of the menus here. So it's just a little bit easier to see at night. Now, if we tap on this, we have similar settings to blue light filter. So one, we can have it turn on now, or we can have it turn on as scheduled. So you could have it from sunset to sunrise, or you can have a custom schedule. Now, all the things that it changed, so it didn't change my home screen or anything, but it did change the text message application. So if I go in here, you can see that it actually has adjusted that. Now, a quick way to get to the night mode is here in the quick panel. So I can just go over here, and there is night mode, and I could quickly turn it off, and you can see it changes the menu there, and then here it has changed my message application. So that will change certain things like the calendar app, the message app, as well as the overall phone settings. So let's go back into the settings here, and that is night mode. And then I did briefly talk about this in my last video, but here you have the option to change your screen from a vivid color to a more natural color. So by default, it's set at natural. I do like having the vivid and bright colors, and here you can see some different examples. And if you would like, you can change the tones of the phone, so you could have it be more cool, or you can have it be more warm. I like it right there in the middle. And you have some advanced features. If there's too much blue light or green light coming through, you can actually tone that light down a little bit right there and customize it to your liking. Now next, we have font size and style. So you can actually customize how big the font is throughout the entire phone. So right here, we have this little bar where we can drag it up to increase the size, or we can drag it down, and you can see there it instantly changed the size in the settings menu. So I like mine a little bit lower than the middle, just to make the text a little bit smaller and it can fit more on the page. Then down here we have font style. So you have a few different fonts available. So you can just tap on one and it will change the font of the phone, or you can actually go and download more fonts from the Samsung Galaxy store. So here it is giving you all kinds of different fonts that are available. I like this Samsung Sans, so we're gonna hit download, and then I will show you how to apply that once it installs. So there it has been installed, and then I can select apply. And we can go back into the font and style, font style, and here we have Samsung Sans. So now it has adjusted the font on the entire phone. And then here we have an option to create a more bold font. So that's maybe if you can't read the text as well, you can turn on the bold there. So that's fonts and styles. Next we have screen zoom. So depending on how much you like to see on the screen, you can adjust the zoom. So here if we increase the zoom, you'll see less on the screen, but the words and text are much bigger. Over here, if we go down to the minus, you're going to have the text be smaller, and it's going to adjust the ratio so everything else on the screen is smaller. It's kind of changing your display settings in the Windows menu or something like that. So here we're going to keep it at the middle, and we can go back. And then here we have full screen applications. So because the Galaxy S10s have a very tall screen, certain applications are not formatted for that. So usually there is a bar at the bottom. So you can come in here and have it change specific applications to show or not show the bar. So right now it's set to auto, but you can come in here and force it to show the full screen. So you can go through all your applications and do that. And then if for whatever reason you don't want to see the hole punch cutout at the top or the Infinity O display, you can select hide the camera, and then it will adjust your entire phone so that you have this big bar at the top and you don't see the camera anymore. So if we go back to my home screen, doesn't look quite as cool, but that is where that setting is. So now we're going to go back in there and turn that off. So now we have the screen time out. So typically if you want to improve the battery life of your phone, have it at 15 to 30 seconds. I like to have it a little bit longer as I'm showing you guys more and talking. I put mine at 1 minute, or you can have it up to 10 minutes. Then down here we have Edge screen. Now there are a ton of features available in the Edge screen, but even though the Galaxy S10e has a flat screen, Edge screen is still available. So here if I swipe over, it allows me to see some of my favorite information right on the side from any page of the phone. So if I select edit here, I can add different customized applications. I can create two apps together and have them open at the same time. Or I can click the settings right here, and then I can go in and add different app menus. So I like to enable the People Edge, the Smart Select, and Task Edge. So now if I go back, I can swipe through those different menus. So there I have a quick contacts. Here I have a Smart Select menu where I can quickly take a screenshot, and I can quickly jump into different actions. And I think I'm going to go more in depth on what that is in another video. So now if we tap off the side, so there you can turn on and off that Edge panel. So then the next setting is you have Edge lighting. So Edge lighting allows for notifications to do a pop-up around the screen and have this really cool animation. So you do need to come in here and change a few settings. So here you can choose what effect you want to see. So there are a bunch of different effects: basic, wave, bubble, multicolor, glow, or glitter. Here you can choose a specific color, so you can see the green around the outside edge. Here you can choose the transparency. So I like to keep mine on the low. Here you can adjust the width. So I like to increase mine to wide. And then here you have a new option called duration, which is new with the One UI update. So you can have it stick around for longer. So I'm going to select done there. And then here you can actually interact with the notification where you can swipe it away or quickly respond. And then here you can choose which applications work with the Edge lighting. I'll make a full video all about this, but just so you know, certain applications will not work. So let's go back to the home page and see what that would look like. So let's say you're using your phone and then you receive a text message pop-up. Here you could swipe it away by swiping left or right, or if you get the text message, you can actually pull it down and it will pop up that application so that you can quickly respond. So there you saw the notification around the outside, and that is how Edge lighting works. I like it because it doesn't block the top of your screen whenever you get a notification. So now we have navigation bar. So the navigation bar is the row down here at the bottom. So you have the recent apps button, the home button, and the back button. So this is the navigation buttons as is. There is another option where you can use full screen gestures. So down here, it just has these little bars. And so instead of tapping to use them, you would swipe up to go back, or swipe up to go home, or swipe up to go to the recent applications. Now, I do like having those full gestures enabled. I'll talk about that more, but for now, we're just going to stick with the navigation buttons. Now down here, you do have an option to change the button order. So if you want the back button to be over here on the left side, you can do that. And then here is the recent apps. So you can quickly jump back and forth between applications, but I'm going to keep it right here as that is what is standard. Now here you have an option to protect accidental touches. So maybe you're gripping the phone and you're touching the sides multiple times. It will prevent that and pop up a notification. So you can turn that on and off there. Now here you have the touch sensitivity options. Now if you are adding any type of screen protector to your phone, I suggest that you come in here and turn this on before you add the screen protector, just so that the phone is able to recognize you still, even if you add some protection to the phone. And then last here in the display is the screen saver. So screen saver allows for you to do certain things when your phone is just sitting there plugged in. One is it can show colors. I don't really like that one, but it's available. Here you can do a photo table where you would actually choose different photos. So we could come in here and choose photos that we have downloaded. We can select preview, and then it's just going to throw those on the home screen. I think you can even move them around and see all the photos there. Here you have a photo frame, and you can also pull photos from Google Photos. But we're going to keep that turned off for now. So those are all the display settings for your Samsung Galaxy S10e. Now, if you have a S10 or S10 Plus, there is one more option available, which is screen resolution. So this allows you to change from a 3040 by 1440 resolution down to 1080 or 720. As you go down, that would improve the battery life, but the full quality is the WQHD Plus, and so you would select that and select apply to be using that. So now that we know all about the display settings, let's talk about the navigation buttons down here. So as you've seen before, if I select the home button, it takes me back to the home menu at any time. Another option is if you hold down on the home button, that's going to open up Google Assistant. So the first time you do that, it's going to start listening to you. It may ask you to allow for some permissions to set it up. But now anytime you want to talk to Google Assistant, you just hold down the button. What's the weather like tomorrow?
In Orem Wednesday, it'll be partly cloudy with a high of 57 and a low of 39.
And then here you can select Get Started to unlock more of the features of Google Assistant. So if that's your first time setting up Google Assistant, it will run you through a few steps so that it can recognize your voice just by talking to your Google Assistant as well. So next we have the back button. So at any time we can select back and it will take us back to where we previously were. Sometimes the application will take you out, so you just need to open up the app again. So now let's talk about the recent apps button. So when you tap on that, it's going to pull up the recent apps menu or the apps that are currently open on your device. So here you can scroll through and see all of those. And then down here, it's pulling up a list of applications that you typically would use around this time, or maybe apps that you have just been using. Those will be available right there. If you want to turn off those recommendations, you can select the menu right here, go into the settings, and you can turn off the app suggestions, but I do like having those on. So now we can go through, and let's say there's an app that you want to close, you would just swipe it away just like that, and that will close the application. If you want to hit close all, that will close all of the apps at once. So if you want to open a recent apps again, you would need to open one app, and here you can see the app there. So let's open a few apps real quick. So now if we go into this app menu, a few things that you can do is right here at the top, you have Search Finder. So you can actually search anything on your phone and it will be able to find that. So here you can search for apps and information in the internal storage. You can also search for nearby sharing and search more things. So here we can go in and allow that to happen. So let's say I want to find an application like Gallery. There it pops that up, and then here it's saying you can search through the results in your gallery or other information. So that's a quick way to find anything that is on your phone. Now if we go back to the menu, here we have our gallery application. So if we want to adjust any of the settings, we just tap on the icon right here at the top. So we tap the icon and it's giving us a bunch of options. So one is we have app info, so we can go adjust the settings of the app. So next we have open in split view. When we select that, it moves the app to the top and then it asks for a second app to open. So now we have two apps open at once, so I can be using these apps independent. So many of the options were removed from multi-window, but it is still here on the phone. And then if we want to close the app, we just drag this bar down to the bottom and it will close that application. So let's go back in, select the gallery. Here we have open in pop-up view. So pop-up view allows you to have the app kind of floating on top of all the other applications or screens on your phone. And then here you have some options at the top. So this new one is I can actually adjust the opacity of that app. So if I want to hide it a little bit, I can do that. Let's bring it back to full. Here I have minimize. So then it's going to pull this into a little floating icon. Here I have make full screen. And then the last option there was that I could actually just close that application. So if you select the X, it will close it. So then some other options here are you can change the app aspect ratio. So if for whatever reason the app is not performing correctly, you can have it pop up here just like that. So next you have an option called lock this app. So let's say you always want the gallery to be open in this menu. If you select lock this app, if you hit close all, these are going to close and the gallery will still be there. So I hit close all, open it up, and there the gallery is. Now this last option is called pin this app. So this is something you need to enable in the settings, but when you select pin this app, it's actually going to freeze that application. So if I give this phone to my kids, I don't want them to leave an app. They can push the buttons and do all this down here and it will not leave the app until they hold down on the back button and the recent app button, and then it has unpinned the app and you can go about using the device. So that is how you use the recent apps menu. One other trick is that if you have a few applications open and you want to jump to one of them, you just hold down on the home button and swipe over to the back button. So just like this, we're in one app, we swipe again and it goes back to the last app. Or if we just go this way, we can then drag between all the applications that we have open, just like that. So now the last topic I want to talk about is adjusting the sounds on your device. So if we go in here to the settings, we have sounds and vibration. So at the top, you do have the sound mode. So right now it's set on mute. You have vibrate only, or you have sound mode enabled. So if you were just to adjust the sound on your phone by clicking the volume buttons here, right now it's only changing the ringtone. But if I pull this down, you will see the different media volume, the notification volume, the system volume, and then here you have this last option where it is use the volume keys for media. So whenever you're listening to something on YouTube or whatever, if you ever touch the volume key, it will only change the media volume. So I like to have that set up. Now, if you want to change the sound mode at any time, you can just pull down the notification tray and select the little microphone right there. It can go to vibrate, go to mute, and back to sound. So just as simple as that. Now here you do have the option to turn on vibrate while ringing. Here you have the option to change your ringtone. So if you would like to change that, you can do that. Or you can actually select the plus and you can go in and choose something from your phone's memory as well. Here you have vibration pattern. So you can adjust the different vibrations that you have. And then here you have notification sounds. So if you want to adjust what notification sound is going to pop up, you have all those options. Now here you can adjust all the volumes that I showed you when you hit the volume button. So here you have the vibration intensity. So if you want to know the difference between an incoming call and a notification, you can turn down the notifications, and I like to turn down the touch interaction a little bit. So then you can distinguish between the different type of notifications you're receiving. Here you have the use volume keys for media option as well. Here you have system sounds and vibrations. So here you can turn off if when you touch the screen, it makes certain sounds at certain times. You can turn off the screen lock sound, the charging sound, dialing pad, tones, the keyboard sound, keyboard vibration, and touch vibration. Now, depending on the carrier or phone you have, this may be a little bit different. And then here you do have some advanced sound settings. So we can adjust the sound quality and effects by turning on what is called Dolby Atmos. So Dolby Atmos enhances the sound that you hear and really pushes the speakers to their limits. Here you can also enable that while you are gaming, and then you can adjust the equalizer to go from pop, classic, jazz, rock, or even custom, where you can go and control all of those settings. Now, if you want to quickly adjust the Dolby Atmos and turn it on and off, if you pull down the notification tray here, over on the side, you will see the Dolby Atmos. So you can quickly tap that to turn it on and off. You can also tap on Dolby Atmos to change it from auto, movie, music, and voice. And then again, if you want to adjust the sound settings here, you can select sound, go to vibrate, mute, or sound. And if you tap on the sound, you get the options to change right there, or you can change the ringtone, media, notification, and system volumes. And that is how you can adjust the display settings, your navigation settings, and your sound settings on your Samsung Galaxy S10. If this video is helpful, make sure you hit that like button. And if you would like to see more videos in this series all about setting up and using your Samsung Galaxy S10, make sure you select the next video over here or the full playlist down there on the side. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you on the next one.